Hi guys, welcome back to the Bay. I'm Ben. Here we are again for the usual Monday appointment with the best news of the week. This week's raider, Mirko, who I thank by offering you 10 bottles of the best room. Of course, I also thanks all those who follow and subscribe to the channel, comment, leave a like. Thanks to everyone, you are truly a special rebel. It's been a bit of an up and down week as Meta seems to have interrupted the Quest Pro 2 project scheduled for 2027, probably to give precedence to another headset. PlayStation 5 and PlayStation VR2 have undergone a price increase of $100, and we will try to understand what could be the causes. We'll see what were the statements of Nicolas Duce, the creative director of Astro Bot, regarding a possible version for PSVR2. There will also be room for first impressions of Batman Arkham Shadow. Before continuing, however, disable the ad block and restart the video with the ads, cast off the moorings, hoist the sails, wind in your sails and set sails to discover best weekly news. Let's start with one of the most incomprehensible news of the past week. The 100 price increase for the PlayStation 5 console and for PSVR2. Well, yes, it seemed that with the increase in sales during the price cut on Amazon a few weeks ago, Sony had understood what the way was to increase PSVR2 sales. Unfortunately, when you think that Sony has started to think a little about consumers, here it increased the price of the console and VR headset by $100. But what could be the cause of this inexplicable increase? Some sources say inflation and the increase in the cost of the Japanese currency. But if we analyze the news of the last period, we discover instead that this increase comes in conjunction with many rumors from different sources, some quite reliable, that speak of an imminent announcement for PlayStation 5 Pro, not only leakers and insiders, but also journalists. Obviously, we have neither a date nor a price, but this could explain the price increase of the base console. The price increase could serve to two purposes: as a deterrent to discourage users from purchasing the base version of the console while waiting for the official announcement of the Pro version, or bring the cost of PlayStation 5 as close as possible to that of PlayStation 5 Pro, so as to push buyers to add something to the cost of the base by directly buying the Pro version. Now, while this speech may make sense for the console, I absolutely cannot find a justification for the price increase of PSVR2. Nicolas Duchet, creative director of Astro Bot, he was once again pressed with a question that have been haunting him for months now. Will Astro Bot also be released on PlayStation VR2? In the previous times he was asked this question, Duce he answered diplomatically, trying to explain also in a technical way that a VR version of Astro Bot is not possible, because the game was designed to give its best on console played with DualSense. This time, probably fed up with this continuous question, he gave a more directly and certainly unequivocal answer. There is no possibility that Astro Bot will also arrive on PSVR2, a total closure therefore, which instead there is not regarding the probable arrival on PC. Everything will depend on the response of the players to this game, so a future PC version of Astro Bot is not impossible. We are talking about something very anticipated and juicy, which we would all like to hear about as much as possible: Batman Arkham Shadow. For now, we can only trust the first impression of those who have already had the chance to try it. The most interesting playtests were done on a demo lasting about 45 minutes. The testers talk about the tension caused by the atmosphere that you experience when going down into the sewers. Walking in the darkest in narrow tunnels with layered audio immerses the player also from sensorial point of view. Camouflage, the developer of this game, has worked tirelessly to implement the new acoustic ray tracing. So I can only imagine what it's like to hear the echo of the drops that fall from ceiling of the tunnels on the surface of the water. I'm also starting to believe that the graphics shown are actually those of the game, or at least quite close to what we will see inside our headset with our own eyes. since the game director himself has highlighted the developer's effort to make the environments very detailed with the aim of offering the player an experience as realistic as possible. But I will only believe it when I see with my own eyes. Testers confirm the use of dynamic shadows even when we will be called to glide from one point to another and our cloak will cast a shadow. However, many low-quality textures are reported, skyboxes are too low, diminishing the illusion of a large city. Camouflage claimed to have taken inspiration from Half-Life Alyx as regards the transition of plot and cutscenes, without compromising the player's control. The detective mode is described as very impactful on aesthetic level, which can be activated simply by touching the temple, which is very natural in VR. This is used to have clues to solve the various puzzles or to show the position of the enemies. New accessories and pieces of equipment will be unlocked as you progress through the game, and you will be able to revisit areas to access those places that were previously inaccessible. While all of this is certainly fantastic for a VR game, for those who already know the Batman Arkham saga, you already know all of this. And this, unfortunately, brings me to the aspect I wanted to talk about and that has raised some doubts in me since the first trailer: the combat system. I am really sorry since I'm having so much experience in the world of video games to identify problems not even just by watching a video or even sometimes a trailer. In fact, many of those who have already the opportunity to try Batman Arkham Shadow confirm that the combat system is faithful to the original saga in flat. For a good part of the testers, the combat system is an element that makes the game downright frustrating. Guys, we are talking about a combat system that in flat is certainly valid and very fun, but in VR it seems unnatural and excessively scripted. And those who are following me know perfectly well that this is the very first things I said when we saw the trailer on the combat system, and I am almost sorry that now this aspect is confirmed by those who tried the game. And now it turns out that the combat system of Batman Arkham Shadow does not reproduce the real movement of the player's hands, but is based on gestures. This means that when we have to fight, symbols will appear to follow with our hands, and if we perform the movement correctly, the action will be executed. Also, regarding the use of gadgets, it will most likely be dictated by the game itself, so it will be the game that will tell us when and how we could use the various gadgets. Be careful though, it could also be funny to try to guess all the combinations that are indicated to us by the game during the combat phases. But from a VR game, I expect greater freedom of action. In short, let's wait and continue to follow, because when it arrives in October, I will be able to talk to you about this game from personal experience after playing it. Another news from the last week that the generalist newspapers have embroidered on, trying as always to cast some shadow on the VR sector. It concerns Meta's decision to cancel Quest Pro 2 scheduled for 2027. While celebrating the cancellation of this high-end headset, they do not tell us that another project is planned for the same year. The name of the project will be Puffin. It is described as a pair of large glasses weighing about 110 grams, with pancake lenses and pass-through. How was it possible to achieve such a low weight? Simple. They did like Apple Vision Pro, a fucking external battery connected with a wire. Even the type of headset, and most likely it will be very similar to Apple Vision Pro, so we are not talking about the headset intended for gaming, or in any case, that will not be its main use. Another similarity with the Apple headset is the fact that there are no controllers and it's completely manageable with the hands. In the meantime, however, let's remember that two versions of the Quest 4 are planned, most likely 4 and 4S, for 2026. So no guys, VR is not dying, it's just changing its plan a bit. Many of you who follow my videos are not subscribed to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, but for the channel it's very important to have your subscription, so press the subscribe button and continue to follow. If you like the video, leave a like, and if you want to personally support the channel, you can leave some doublons in the bay chest using the button under the video. A zero-cost help comes instead from your use of my links to purchase Quest 3 on Amazon, description, my referral link to get 30 euros credit when you activate a new headset, my links with a discount code for purchasing VR accessories from all brands including Kiwi Design, CyberVR, VR Cover, Obica, ANVR. If you want to protect your headset lenses from scratches and dust, your eyes from blue light, or you want to play without using glasses, you can purchase VR Rock prescription lenses using my link in the description with the discount code. Thank you for making it to the end of the journey and watching the entire video. That's all from your Captain Ben. I'll be waiting for you in the bay for next adventure. Greetings, Rabble.
Ho ho!